I was thinking for a long time how to start this video.
Shit.
I've been put on the planet for a very specific reason. And I've been put on the planet to humble you. Because all of you people watching this, you will not reach your potential as a man unless you are extremely introspective. You must look in the mirror and you must compare yourself to Tate, and you must understand that you fail in every metric. You are poor, you are weak, you are stupid, you are ugly, and you are short. You are none of the things I am. And God put me on this planet specifically to remind you of how much you are failing.
I don't believe in depression. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep.
It is abundantly clear that he is perceived as an immature troll. That is because of his controversial ideas on reality. I can understand being ignorant of depression and so on, but you don't need to be a rocket scientist to see his intention is to rile people up. There are some people who derive pleasure and a sense of accomplishment when they can find ways to get under people's skin. It's no different with child calling another child names with the intention to hurt them. I personally have no idea why people were defending depressing lives as if it's true to them, just like Tate said, when we all know a depressing life is very detrimental to us all. People, primarily men, need to be down this agenda. By the time we're done with it, women who stood by us will not be projecting any sort of bitterness that I see with women who stand in for depression.
I was massively a victim of my own success. I decided to accelerate my public persona and presence about 6 months ago. And I was massively successful. I became the most Googled man on the planet. I am, by the metrics of the internet, the most famous individual who is currently alive in the world today.
And I am a realist. And if some of my views, based very firmly in absolute professionalism, by extension, absolute reality, come across in a misogynistic tone, then that is your problem.
You can't slander me because I will state right now that I am absolutely sexist and I'm absolutely a misogynist. And I have fuck you money and you can't take it away. So I'll say what I want because I'm a realist, and when you're a realist, you're sexist. There's no way you can be rooted in reality and not be sexist.
Why did Andrew get cancelled? He was someone who received the most Google searches. He got there by developing a method that allowed his Hustlers University affiliates to repurpose his content, open accounts on TikTok, and spread it immediately because he expressed ideas that were incredibly masculine and what some may term misogynistic, including him.
Female are barely sentient. I don't believe.
Because TikTok is such a rapidly expanding platform, they polarize people, and when you polarize and when you produce content that polarizes, it really taps into the TikTok algorithm. As a result, he was able to obtain millions and billions of free impressions and exposure across the TikTok platform. Challenge for him was that it became too successful. It became too successful and it was going into the mainstream
Of all three, but you are.
Me being rich is kind of different than most people who are rich, because there's a lot of people who are rich, like family, money, all this kind of stuff. But me, I did it all by myself. So I've got a problem which is kind of unique to my wealth. And the problem is that I am at the top of the tree. I'm at the very, very tip top of the food chain.
I was on the understanding
Basically,
that on the
anyone I
internet,
interact
people don't
with,
like you.
ever,
It doesn't matter who you are.
wants
It doesn't matter
something
what you
from
say.
me.
There's going to be some people who don't like you, and the people who don't like you are not interested in the truth. What they are interested in is finding some lie that they can latch onto and accelerating that lie on as much as possible via their platforms to try and paint a negative picture of you because they don't like you.
That was the problem. He became too big and his character persona was no longer tolerated by the mainstream. It became too big. He ruffled too many feathers. He caused too many problems and he insulted too many segments of society. Now, it shows you what can happen if you become too successful with opinions that go against the general stability of society. Now, he became successful because he was talking to topics that seem to have connected with younger men. His up was the most extreme, the most polarizing content.
I am fully aware that not everybody is going to agree with what I say. I don't think there's a person on the planet you can find who has a 100% approval rate. There's always going to be somebody who disagrees with what you say. If I said the earth was round, there would be a contingent of individuals on the planet who disagree with me. I have no problem with people disagreeing with me. I have no problem with being seen as controversial for some of the things I've said. However, I do have two significant problems I would like to address. The first is I do not like absolute and utter lies being told about me. I do not like having long-form video of me cut up, elements taken out of context, the tonality of the joke removed, and purporting an image of me that is not true. That's something I do not like.
Sparkling water you have to buy. So if you only drink sparkling water, you only drink rich man's water. I explained this to someone, some bumbacla, and of course he replied with the typical, but I don't like sparkling. You don't like sparkling water? You don't like water? Yeah, but the bubbles. The bubbles? You scared of bubbles, you little bitch?